Oftentimes in an online course, both students and instructors will question the purpose of the dreaded discussion board.
My students hate them. It's hard to pretend to care what my classmates think about the stuff we read. I get a lot of the same answers over and over again. I don't like that there's a length requirement on how I should respond in a conversation. It's easy for students to just fake their way through these assignments. Honestly, my biggest complaint is that I have to do discussion posts at all.
Discussions may be seen as busy work, or people may question the effectiveness of the drive-by discussion, where the responses are only, "I agree," or "Great point." Additionally, some may be confused about the type of assignment a discussion post should be.
Is it a paper? Is it some kind of journal?
It's neither. It's simply a conversation. In this two-part video, we will discuss how an instructor should shape the discussion board to create an engaging learning environment and how to develop excellent discussion questions to help these assignments go from busy work to engaging online conversations. The Quality Matters Standards for Course Design, developed by a committee of higher education professionals, says interactive learning activities promote active learning and engagement. Interaction, both between students and the instructor and students with one another, is an important aspect of active learning because the students are fully participating in their own learning, but it's easy to lose that in an online course. Online course discussions can and should be highly meaningful learning opportunities. A good conversation can have a much better impact on a learner than a lecture or a simple assignment because conversations encourage students to reflect on the material and share it from their own perspective while learning from each other's insights and reflections.
So how do we create engaging discussion assignments?
It starts with setting clear expectations. First, it is important to explain to students how you want them to answer the initial prompt. Usually in a discussion, the length of a response is less important than being able to fully answer the question. For some prompts, this may be done in 2 or 3 sentences, while others may require a second paragraph. These prompts should be designed for brief student responses. A conversation is hard to maintain when those involved are reading lengthy content.
No.
With all this in mind, it is helpful to provide students a clear rubric that sets grading expectations. Explain exactly how to fully answer an initial response to earn a high score. Also use the rubric to explain the tone and style with which you want the students to speak to each other. When it comes to grammar and writing style, some content areas may require a more professional tone, while others may allow a more informal, conversational tone. We also must explain what we expect of the students in the conversation after the initial response and how we as the instructor will guide the responses. This is how we avoid those repetitive drive-by responses.
So how do we avoid these responses?
Start by telling students how you want them to respond to each other. Perhaps you want them to build upon something a classmate said and relate it to their own experiences. Or maybe you want them to ask a peer a question related to that response that the peer would then answer. You may also give them free rein to conduct the conversation as they see fit, as long as their responses are thought out and informed. It also would be helpful to model the kind of responses the instructor would like to see in these conversations. Additionally, the instructor has a responsibility in the conversation. The instructor can participate in the discussion and facilitate the conversation. If the instructor sees 2 initial responses that complement each other, they should direct the 2 posters to one another for more conversation. The instructor can also ask questions to initial posters and the responders to give the conversations a reason to continue and also highlight really strong responses to direct other students to read them and respond to them. It is the instructor's responsibility to facilitate and ensure the strength of conversation. Once these expectations have been established and addressed, then we can move on to really personalizing and developing interesting discussion prompts, which we will talk about in part 2.